It's Saturday, it's the 6th of November, and it is incredibly windy here down in Peguera. We went to Palma Nova yesterday and it was very windy in Palma Nova. If you watched the Palma Nova video, I spoke about a hurricane off the south coast of the island. Well, that's been brewing and building up. It's still well off the south coast, so we're not getting this really strong winds yet, but the weather forecast said winds of 90 to 100 kilometers. So we're in the sheltered bit of the island as well. As we go along, you'll see that the sea's fairly calm because the wind's coming from the land side mostly, but it's blustery and it's spinning around, and it's going to be a bit exciting actually.
And it feels colder than in England.
Weather forecast said around 14 degrees, but it feels like 7. So yeah, and it is all nicely wrapped up. So hopefully we'll find a little bit of shelter as we walk along, and it won't feel too bad. Well, one thing we noticed when we were in Palma Nova yesterday was that the beach had been completely cleared. There were no sunbeds and no sun umbrellas. They'd all been taken down and nobody was on the beach. And there were no people actually on the promenade either. A little bit different here, that the sun umbrellas, some of them are actually still out, and all the sunbeds are still here. There's nobody on the beach, but then again, if it feels like 7 degrees, I don't think you'd expect to see very many people on the beach. What we do see though is that the beach bars are still open, and that's different to the second and third beach in Palma Nova, where pretty much everything was shut up. And here in Peguera they cater for the German community more than they do in Palma Nova and Magaluf, and perhaps that's why we're seeing a slight difference. A little bit more activity, more people actually walking along the promenade, and as we go past some of the bars, people sitting in the bars. Earlier on in the year they did say that Peguera was one of the resorts that was going to try to stay open until December. That doesn't mean we're going to get people out on the beaches, but you will get people out walking, sitting in the bars, having a drink, and enjoying what's going on. We even have a metal detectorist. It's great fun on these beaches. You go along with your metal detector, you get a bleep bleep bleep, and you find a bottle top or a ring pull, or sometimes a few coins. It's interesting, it's fun. It's something I've done with the children. The sea's very calm, which you wouldn't expect, I suppose, being so windy, but it's because the wind is now blowing offshore. And so we are in the sheltered side. The other thing we notice that's different is that there's some flags flying on the beach. There's a green flag and an orange flag, so the orange flag's warning us that it isn't so safe, so be careful. And that's if you went out there on a lilo or something like that, you could very easily get blown out, because the breeze is really strong as you go a little bit further out. Just actually look, beautifully calm. Another restaurant open, and that was one of the reasons for coming here today. It's Saturday, we thought we might have our lunch. Use the adult exercise machines, and maybe give those a try later, or maybe not. But we're actually a little bit more sheltered, so not as cold as you were expecting, are you? So got all wrapped up. She's got a big coat on today, got a scarf on, gloves. I do need them though. Things that she forgot yesterday she's put on today. But the difference really is people. We're actually seeing people out today walking along the promenade. There's even one or two on the beach just having to walk along as well. Looks as though all of the sun umbrellas on this side have gone, and the poles are still there. They will be removed in the next few days. So yeah, I guess if they've gone, then all of these beds will go as well. So I think we'll come back to Peguera in a week or two's time and just have a look. This weather we're getting at the moment is unusual. It's not usually this cold, it's not usually this windy. It's around 5 to 10 degrees cooler than it would normally be at this time of the year. If the wind had been onshore, one of the things I would be looking out for would be surfers. The beaches in Peguera are very popular when the surf's up, and we see them coming in on the boards. But not today. The wind's in the wrong direction. We should have gone to a different part of the island if we were looking for them. As we were coming down, besides getting a little bit windswept, we went past first of the hotels as we come down to the beach, and that one was actually closed. So I am very curious as to whether the hotels here in Peguera are largely open or closed. Tourists must be staying somewhere. So we're coming up to one of the hotels. This is the rear of it, and I can see umbrellas in the gardens, which would indicate that the hotel is actually open to guests. I can see lights inside, so yes, this hotel is open. This is the Villa Mill, and yes, there are beds. I don't think there's anybody going to be sitting on them at this time because of the wind. It's actually calmed down tremendously. When the wind's like this, you have to be careful of branches breaking off the trees. We've just walked through a little bit of the town, and lots of berries that had been blown down and a few smaller branches. But I'm pretty sure that elsewhere on the island we'll find that there have been bigger branches blown down, or even whole trees. And we still have a few sunbeds here, not out, but some beach umbrellas as well. Maybe they're just working on it. Those will be taken down later on. So just coming back towards the end of this beach, and we'll walk up and over to the middle beach and have a look to see what's going on there. It's been quite a nice walk.
Right.
Happy with that?
Yeah.
This restaurant on the end looks as though it's closed. I'm just noticing a bit of a dust storm, because that's when the wind's blowing on the beach, it can blow the sand up, and that's not pleasant at all. But we're not going along the end there because there's no way you can get through. It's an interesting place to go and look at the sea, but you can't get round to the next bay. So we have to go up this little hill, and I'll spare you the puffing and panting as I walk up the hill, and we'll see you round the corner. So normally when I come down to this part of the beach, I walk over to the side there and have a look at the beach. I don't think I need to, because all the beds are out, and they're actually out on the beach. There's no flags flying, and I can't see a lifeguard, but I'm guessing that that's just because of the way the weather is, and all the beach umbrellas are still here. So this part looks as though it's open for business if the weather's fine. The sea's a little bit rougher here, so the wind must be blowing a little bit more in this direction, and we can see out in the distance there's a catamaran. Actually looks to be incredibly stable in the water there. It doesn't seem to be rocking around at all. We're going to have a little walk along the beach here, along the promenade, and then we'll walk up into the town.
We're going to have a coffee on the way as well.
We're going to find somewhere to have a coffee, so we probably won't walk all the way down. And there is a third beach which we're not going to make our way to. It's right in the distance over there. And I can actually see beach umbrellas out there. I can't see any beach beds, but I can see beach umbrellas out. And that one looks a little bit more as though the waves are actually bringing up the seaweed on that particular beach, which also happens with these storms. The seaweed comes up, and that does help to protect the sand from being washed away. There's a boat actually on the beach here. I don't think I'd want to leave my boat there with an engine. I guess that's got something to do with the catamaran though. So the beach bar's closed, but the chairs are all out, and it's ready to accept clients. But the weather being as it is, they're probably not going to open at all today, because not many people are going to be coming down to the beach. And I don't think we're going to walk much further because it's getting really, really windy. Apologies for the noise, but it's getting very windy. Just where we've come, we're a little bit more exposed. You can see perhaps the trees blowing around in front of us, the bushes blowing. It is very windy. We're going to head up into the town, I think, now, and hopefully we'll get a little bit more shelter there. I don't think there's going to be very much going on down that way anyway. And they've also put out some fencing there. That is another way that they protect the beach. So they've got rows of fencing there to protect the sand so it doesn't get blown away during these windy storms. But very, very blustery at that point, and it's still a little bit blustery. Hopefully when we get to the main street we'll be protected by the shops that are on either side. Let's see. And just for interest, we don't usually come up this way, but there is an underground car park here which is right next to the beach. If you want somewhere to park, then it's open 24 hours a day. Never actually, well, I think I have actually used it once many years ago when Anita was doing a concert here. I think I did actually park there. Someone was asking me about parking in Palma, and is there free parking? Well, most places you can find free parking if you go out a little bit, and we haven't paid for parking today. We've got a free car park at the end of Peguera. It just usually means you've got to walk in a little bit. But parking, generally speaking, is not that expensive here in Mallorca. Certainly not compared with the UK. Not sure about other countries, but some parts of the UK parking can be quite extortionate.
The airport.
Particularly places like the airport. We went back to I went back to the UK for a week. Parked my car for a week inside the airport's multi-storey car park, and it was 43 euros for the whole week, which I thought was extremely reasonable. When I spoke to my daughter, she thought it was incredibly reasonable compared with the airports that she parks the car at when she comes to visit us in the UK. So the UK airport car parks tend to be much more expensive. You know, we came back from Bristol Airport and charged £3, I think it was, just to be dropped off. Doesn't seem right to me. I suppose they've got to make the money somehow. Oh, it's calmed down a little. We're now being protected by all the buildings. So you can have a walk through Peguera. We walked through the beginning as we came in, and we saw that there were a few shops open, a few cafes and restaurants open, but a lot of places also seem to be closed. So I think I'll turn the video off, and if something comes up, looks a bit more interesting, then I'll put the video back on, and we'll see you at the other end of Peguera. Well, we managed to find somewhere for a coffee, so we've got our coffees, we've got a fantastic view. We're sheltered a little bit from the wind as well, so cheers.
Cheers. Let's warm us up.
Yesterday we were eating Vietnamese food in Palma Nova, and so today we're in Peguera, and we've had a lovely lunch, an Indian lunch at the Gateway of India. Really enjoyed it, and it's a place I think we'll come back to, so one of our recommendations.
Definitely, really delicious food.
Well, it's been a blustery day here in Peguera, and we're going to make our way home now. So thank you very much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.
Bye.
Bye for now.